Hi, I'm Anna Carbonell, the Realtor Next Door. Today I'm going to talk about 10 tips to help you sell your home. Some of these things are pretty simple and you may already know them, so I'm just going to go over them very quickly for you. The first thing is, of course, to find the right realtor, somebody that knows the area and the market, someone that you can trust, that you feel like is going to tell you what you need to do, not what you want to hear necessarily. Somebody who's going to give you some data as far as how you should price your home, and documents that show with an evaluation of what has sold in your area. These are some of the important things that you should definitely factor into when you are going to choose a realtor. Someone that's not going to just say, yes, I'll list your house for whatever you want to list it for. Of course, most of us want to get the most for our home, of course. But the thing is that you also want to take in consideration what has sold, because that's really going to dictate where your price is going to be. So it's very important that someone's straight with you and not just getting a listing. So another thing that's really important that we find is professional pictures make a big difference. So there's that cliche, the phrase that we all hear of a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, you know, in real estate, if you see something on the MLS or your realtor is showing you homes and they're sending them to you via computer beforehand, if you're finding that the pictures don't look good, sometimes people don't even want to see your home, and it's a shame, really. But if you have some professionally done pictures and things to highlight your home, that makes such a big selling point for sure. Pricing your home for the right price, as we talked about a little bit before. You know, home prices have gone up, definitely, especially in 2021. The interest rates are low, the inventory is limited, so it's definitely going to make a big difference for you as far as pricing the home correctly. Basically, you want to get in as many people in as possible to your home, and how we like to do that is we do the home evaluation. We get a basic price of what we think a house should sell for. Once we get that, they say that if you want to bring the most buyers in, if you can list it for about 10% lower than what it will sell for, you're going to get the most people into your home. By getting the most people into your home, it's going to give you an opportunity to get multiple offers and perhaps drive the price higher. So we find that it's best to price it where it needs to be, or 10 to 15% below, and you will get so much more traffic, and it will ultimately give you offers and also may drive the price up to a little bit higher than expected. So that's very important. So pricing the home correctly. You know, we all want a lot of money for our homes. I know my husband, when he went to sell his house, he wanted to sell it for a little bit more, and he's like, well, then we'll negotiate down. And I'm like, no, you really don't want to do that. We have to be realistic on what other people are willing to pay for our home, and we have to put ourselves outside of our home and think like the buyer to be. So pricing it according makes the most sense, and that will help sell your house quicker. Another important thing is decluttering your home. So if you were walking through your house and you have a lot of furniture, and you have a lot of pictures up on the wall and things all over the counter, it's going to make the home look smaller, it's going to make it look messier, it's not going to be as appealing. So declutter, take away half of the stuff in your closet. So if you need to, go get a storage facility or get some boxes or tubs, pack them and put them into your garage. If they see obviously boxes in your garage, they know that you're selling your home, and they're going to be more apt to see, you know, it accepted more so than having all this stuff all over your house and not being able to see the home itself. You want to have some furniture in it, so it gives people an idea of where to put things and how much space you have, especially like in the bedrooms. If you have like a king size bed, they can see that a king size will fit. So definitely have some things in there, but take away half of the items. So keep it simple, keep it clean. Also depersonalizing your home, and what that means is taking down any family photos that you may have. The idea is to see the buyer to see themselves in your home, right? So it has to be their home. If they see your family pictures, they're not really envisioning themselves in your home, they're seeing you in their home. So that's also an important thing to do. Make sure the home is clean. Windows, doors, counters, kitchens and baths especially, sometimes we don't realize the little things, like especially tubs and lots of clutter. And if you have children, you know, they have their toys all over the place. It makes it really difficult to, again, see yourselves in it. You're thinking of the kid in the tub instead of yourself. So depersonalize, make sure things are clean and neat. If you have to, you know, get your carpets steam cleaned. If they're old, replace them. Like simple things. If you need to repaint, you know, the door outside, go ahead and do that. If you need to repaint touch-ups through the wall because there's like markings or scuffs, you need to take care of that as well. You want it to look as pristine as you possibly can. Most of us love to go to a model home because it's so clean and it's new and it's fresh and it smells good and it has that whole feeling when you get into it. So you have to remember yourself walking into that house and highlight the things that you can highlight. If you have a pool, make sure it's clean and decluttered from all pool items. If you want to even add those floating little candles, of course not lit, that makes it look nice. If you want to put a fresh bouquet of flowers on your kitchen counter or a basket of fruit, if you want to bake something so the house smells good. You know, some of us have pets and they're part of our family too, but if you walk into a house that smells like a cat or a dog, that turns people off. So, you know, there's a lot of plug-ins or candles that you can definitely use to help take away some of those odors. Or if you're cooking with intense flavors, you know, you want to make sure the house doesn't smell like what you cooked the night before. Curb appeal is very important. So, you know, no matter how great the house looks on the inside, if the first impression people get is what the outside looks like. So if your grass is dying or your shrubs are dying and your flowers look kind of wilted, you want to make sure your grass is replaced if you need to. Do some, you know, get some new mulch if you need to get some new mulch or rocks in your bed so that the house on the outside looks great. You know, the door, sometimes everything on the inside's touched up and people forget. The windows are dirty and dusty and hard to look into, and the door's like kind of damaged and kind of old and the paint is chipped. Make sure those are all taken care of because it does make a difference on what it looks like, and it's the first impression they'll have of your home. And of course, by all means, if there are any repairs that you need to make in the home that you're aware of, simple things. Obviously, you don't want to put a lot of money into your home. You're not going to get it back if you, say, redo the whole kitchen and you replace all the cabinets. You know, they may not even like the style of your cabinets you chose. So we sometimes don't have our clients do that. We may have them do something like painting the cabinets or perhaps changing the hardware if the hardware is old, and that can kind of highlight it a little bit, or putting you know, a simple little backsplash that you can do yourself that's not very expensive, that just gives the house a little lift, especially the kitchen. Painting is fairly inexpensive, and most of us can paint if we need to on our own. It's just a little bit of time, so that makes a big difference too when you're selling your house. You know, if the carpets are dirty and they're still good shape, make sure they're cleaned. If they are old and they need to be replaced, those are not expensive, but that makes a world of difference. Again, you're not going to get that money back, but it's going to help you sell your house better if the house looks like it's in good shape and it's not too worn. But if you are going to paint, make sure that you are using neutral colors. You know, I walk in a lot of times to homes that look great. The house is the great space for my client. The bedrooms are sufficient, and they'll walk into somebody's bedroom and see a really bright pink or really bright blue, and to them it's like, oh, I don't want to paint. And I mean, paint is fairly inexpensive with just a little bit of creativity. That's something very easily somebody can do, but sometimes people just get turned off by the simplest things like that. So if you can keep your house more neutral, they can change it according to their ideas. So these are just a few tips that I came across that I thought were important if you are putting your house on the market. And if you want a copy of more extensive tips to get your house ready, you can reach us at 407-461-9973, or check out our website at carbonellrealtors.com, and I will send you by email tips and tricks for getting your house ready to sell. And these things do make a big difference when you are selling. So we appreciate the time and that you are listening to us. We hope that you like what you've heard. Please subscribe and share. And until next time, thanks for watching The Realtor Next Door.